Welcome to episode number 2 of Behind the Brands, taking a quick look at what some of the brands are doing this week and some of the ads they're putting out and whether or not they're great, they're so-so, and what's good about them, what's bad about them, what you can learn from them most importantly. So this week we're looking at Pepsi, AllState, and, well, not just Taco Bell, it's Yum Brands, but particularly Taco Bell within that group. Okay, anyway, let's start off with AllState. I actually really like this one. And in general, I find AllState's ads generic and boring. Anyway, this one was an ad where a dude is at a college football game, and he's basically saying, "Hey, you know, like before I check my my insurance or whatever, I check Allstate first to make sure I'm getting the right price, right quote, whatever." And which I should have done before I stole someone's cotton candy while the jumbotron was on me, and it flashes to him eating a kid's cotton candy, stealing a kid's cotton candy while the jumbotron is right on him. Why do I like this? It's a good question because it seems like, all right, it's a good ad. I like it because it's on target, because there's been a lot of stuff happening at sporting events from the relatively recent past of people doing ridiculous things and getting caught on jumbotrons doing it. I'll give you just a really quick example of one. There was a baseball game where someone hit a home run and went to the stands where no one was sitting. A dad grabbed, got the ball, brought it to his kid, gave it to his kid. The kid is so happy, and some, this has been called a Karen, comes over and starts yelling at the dad, like, "That was my ball, blah, blah, blah." And the dad just like, "All right, I don't know, why are you screaming at me? No one got the ball." And he takes the ball and he gives it to the kid, and the kid is sad. And now he's just like, "Just please go away. You're ruining our family experience." And she takes the ball and leaves. And this poor kid. And the team, by the way, it was the Miami Marlins, gave him a signed bat. They took care of the kid. But there's been a lot of weird stuff happening in games where people doing these ridiculous things, getting caught on the jumbotron. And here's this dude. And here's Allstate playing right into that with the guy saying, "Check the app before you do anything with your insurance," just like you should check your, the jumbotron is on you before you're stealing any cotton candy from a kid. No, you should not be stealing cotton candy from a kid. The whole thing was a joke. It was very well done. It's good comedic timing. I liked it. Is it great advertising? Super creative? No. It hits the spot. It's college football. It's the right season. It's got a little comedic timing to it, and contextually, there are some things going on around it. If you're in the sports world, they're like, okay, this actually is timely. Next, Pepsi, absolute trash. I don't know what they're thinking. So Pepsi has, I know what they're thinking. Right? Well, Pepsi had this thing called Pepsi Crashers or whatever it was, and I've been at brands where they do this, and it is the most ridiculous thing imaginable. When you're a stuck number 2, which Pepsi is to Coke, you don't think about beating Coke. You think about doing things that are big, splashy things that remind everyone else that you still exist. So that you're the number 2 option. Just be you is the marketing lesson behind all of this. And what they had is they had a series of commercials where people will go into the fast food chains, which Coke has all of them. So McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, whatever, they're all Coke. You see somebody drinking a Coke or a soda, the Pepsi Crashers would come in, steal the soda, and this is live, and replace it with a Pepsi. While the dude there sitting there is like, "Oh my, what? Where's my soda?" Horrible marketing. It's like that very viral-ish kind of marketing, but it really leaves bad, horrible latent sentiments underneath it. Do I really want to buy from a brand or be associated with the brands walking around stealing people's drinks, throwing them away in the middle of their meal, and replacing it with something I never asked for? They're still, to make this kind of worse, they're still going with this like concept of crashers, Pepsi Crashers. And they had 2 NFL stars. It was Josh Allen. Who was the other one? Justin Jefferson. And they're going to barbecues at tailgates. So at an NFL game, inevitably, if you don't know this, you're not an NFL fan, you don't have to be to follow this video at all. There are, before the game, you go tailgate, you barbecue before the game. And Justin Jefferson and Josh Allen are crashing your barbecue and throwing some Pepsis in there. And first of all, it's not even real crashing. So I don't know, what are they crashing exactly? I don't understand what they're doing. People are there barbecuing and they're like inserting Pepsi, and you got the Pepsi now. You see it on the screenshot here if you could see it. I don't know what it is. It seems pointless. They're taking a concept that they ran with a while ago and just going with it in a way that doesn't make any sense. It's using NFL stars and product placement all over the place. That's the best your creative team could do. I think you need to rethink things just a little bit and put a little more effort in. It feels lazy to me. All right. Next up is Taco Bell. This is a big one. So Yum Brands, which has Pizza Hut, KFC, Taco Bell, and somebody else, their Q2 earnings were not good. And their CEO, not their CEO, the Taco Bell CEO has been doing the rounds and all sorts of interviews. Yeah, I saw him on the Wall Street Journal. Now he's in Marketing Dive. And what they're talking about doing, this is just, I don't even know where to start with some of this stuff. They're going around basically trying to show like, no, we really are innovative. We really are good. I don't know if he's whether trying to save his job or try to save the brand. But it's definitely one of those moments after the earnings call, everyone trying to save face and trying to get things going. And this doesn't work. There are a lot of things here that really don't work. And I want to get into it just a little bit. This could really be its own whole episode. So he was doing an interview. And God bless me, now I can't find the actual quote. And they're talking about, getting the whole problem I just told you about the Q2 earnings and yada, yada, yada. And this person was the chief data officer, Cameron Davis, said, we believe our strongest competitive advantages is our scale. And we believe that shows up if you look at all of our brands. First, if your biggest competitive advantage is scale, you're basically the biggest thing that makes us so great is that we're just so big and we can just scale so many things. Not that we have great products and value and great connection to our audience. We really understand our audience. We position ourselves well with our audience. No, we're really big and we have a lot of resources. That's what makes us great. If I was the executive board reading this, that seems innovative. That seems like you're really trying to do things that are creative, changing, adapting, evolving. That's your thing. I want to connect this, by the way, to an interview that the CEO of Taco Bell did with the Wall Street Journal, where he was asked, "What's the magic formula for Taco Bell?" And he said 4 things: brand buzz, value, winning on digital, and innovation. Well, let's go with innovation. What's innovative? The biggest advantage we have is that we're just big and have a lot of money. That's not innovative. As for the other thing, winning on digital. First of all, these are just terms. Winning. What does that mean? I'm going to get to the winning on digital. What they think that means a little bit, which is also problematic. Value, brand buzz. Brand buzz. That's the thing that you really want to focus on. We just got to get buzz. That's the magic formula. Again, not offering quality product, the right place at the right time, the right audience, giving the right message, understanding the audience, connecting with an audience, providing a brand experience that really speaks to that. No. Buzz, winning on digital, innovation, and value. I don't know what he got. I watched the whole thing, but I don't know what he said about the value, so maybe there was something interesting about that. And everything else to me was just gobbledygook CEO talk. Let's go back to this was actually a Marketing Dive article talking about how Yum is going about changing everything with AI. Sorry, that's what the article is about. So how Yum is going about using AI to change things. So again, they say their biggest advantage is we can do everything at scale, which that's not a real strategy. That's probably what will get you into more trouble and being wasteful and inefficient when you have that kind of outlook. They're now talking about things like, yeah, we got to win on mobile. Everything is about mobile. Where have you been? First off, that depends. I want to say about that. That depends. If you're a SaaS software, for example, and your consumer are, let's say, business professionals, desktop is probably where you really want to focus. Yes, if you're Taco Bell, the app might be where you want to focus. So I don't know where this new mobile all of a sudden is a thing, but they're really, yeah, we got to win on mobile. Then even in the CEO's video, he goes like, yeah, we got to win on this device. Okay. Again, on the executive board watching this, and water is wet. Yes, this is not, I don't understand. The other thing that so now what they're saying is, okay, so we can do things at scale. That's our biggest advantage. We got to hit the mobile. And now they're saying things like, let me pull it up here. The article says, at Taco Bell, AI is seen as a way to drive business needs, not as a technology to use because it is buzzworthy among marketers and executives. I'm sorry, not as a technology because it's buzzworthy among marketers and executives. Wow, what a Freudian slip, because that's exactly how they're using it. They're saying, quote, the brand is using the tech on the nitty-gritty work overseen by brand marketers and digital marketing teams. For example, AI is beginning to power the brand's content workflow, as well as help creative teams expand and blah, 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 blah. What they're doing is they're basically saying we're going to be using AI to create lots of content at scale, because our biggest ability is scalability. So we're going to do a lot of content at scale using AI, not because it's a buzzword. And that might be true, mainly because they think that the way to build buzz and be innovative is to build content at scale, because building content at scale is your greatest strength. If you know anything about the internet, one of the biggest problems with the internet over the last how many number of years is creating content at scale is produce low quality content nonsense, or SEO content fluff, or just marketing content fluff. And it's a huge problem that's really hit ahead with how LLM just kind of spit things out. Sometimes they don't get back the greatest thing. They're doubling down on that. It's almost as if, I don't know where they've been for the last however number of years. No one in all of these interviews talking about the high quality product, understanding the basics of brand development, connecting with the audience, being creative, putting new concepts out there, putting concepts out there people can really build associations to and really create a lot of latent positive signals about it. No one's talking about any of that. We're talking about we got to win on mobile, get a lot of buzz because our biggest ability is scalability. So let's use AI to create a lot of content at scale. And of course, brand and digital marketing managers will be overseeing this. This is how you want to get out of an earnings problem? That's crazy. And again, I will say this 100 times over. Sometimes the big brands operate. You see this in sports, by the way. I'm a sports nut, so sports teams do crazy things. Why would they do that? And then you read years later, they didn't know what they were doing. This is one of those moments where it feels that these brands, and I've been critical of KFC, some of their marketing in the past also, which is again under this parent, I don't understand what they're doing. And if you think that scalability, if you're out there and you're watching this, you're an enterprise brand or a mid-market brand, and you think scalability is your biggest strength, scalability might be a great strength in terms of getting the content out there and being able to distribute it. Scalability is not what gets people to connect to you, to resonate with you, that you resonate with them, to be able to make an experience with you that actually creates affinity towards you. Scalability is not that. Scalability is a tool once you establish that. And with that, that's this episode of Behind the Brand.